Hello all, this is Miss Carlson. I'm doing this screencast-o-matic since I'm not in the classroom with all of you every day. I rotate between the classrooms, and I figured this would be the easiest way to communicate the assignment for this week. All of the classes will be working on comparing and contrasting stories, and the classes will be using different versions of the same story. Cinderella is an example, but I wanted you all to read a little bit more difficult text, longer text. So I found two different folk tales. They're not the same story, but they're very similar in theme and the characters as well. The first one is called The Wise Old Woman, and this is a Japanese folk tale. And you'll notice it's fairly long. It's a little bit longer than what you're used to reading for these types of assignments, but don't let that freak you out, because I know you guys can do this, and you can take a couple of days actually to get this done. So that's the first one, and what you'll do is you'll read The Wise Old Woman, and I'll share this with you. It's a Google Doc. I'll share that so you can have access to it. Then you'll complete this document for The Wise Old Woman. The first part is determine the theme, which, as we've talked about before, is the main message of the story. List the 3 sentences that support it. So, for example, if you think the theme of the story is courage, then you have to have at least 3 sentences that you can pull from that story that will support courage as the theme for the story. The next thing will be character traits for the main characters. So pick out the main characters and just identify character traits for them, as many character traits as you can identify. What you'll be doing later on is comparing and contrasting the theme and the character traits of this story with another folk tale that's similar but different. Okay, so once you're done with that, you will read The Old Grandfather and His Little Grandson, and this is a European folk tale retold by Leo Tolstoy, which some of you may have heard of him, pretty famous author. This one you'll see is very short, but has very similar theme and very similar characters to The Wise Old Woman. So do the same with The Old Grandfather and His Little Grandson by completing the same document, but for that story. So determine the theme, list your sentences that support that, and then list the character traits of the main characters. Once you've done that, you'll be ready to compare and contrast both stories. So you'll do that using a Venn diagram. You'll just draw the diagram into your reading and writing journal and add in the similarities and differences for theme as well as for character traits. So use 2 different Venn diagrams for those. So one will be specifically for theme and one Venn diagram will be for character traits. And that is it. So like I said, the first story is fairly long, but it's a good story. It's interesting. I think you'll find it interesting. So read that first, and then read The Old Grandfather and His Little Grandson and complete the compare and contrast document, and then do your Venn diagram, and then you are set. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.